Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. We are going to be doing the April recap as well as the unstuffing for the last week of April. So let's just get started. We've got a lot to get through today. Okay, so starting off with the unstuffing for the last week of April, I'm going to put aside the monthly recap. First, we're going to get some change out of our $1 challenge. So let's do 10, 20, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll do 35 and change. And I don't know about you, but the last couple of, weeks, I guess you'd say, have just been really crazy. I think it's the end of the school year. So if you have kids, I feel like there are all kinds of activities going on right now. We're wrapping up sports seasons. The schools are doing fun countdowns. I think we're in our last 20 some days. It's been really, really busy. Okay, so let's start with our sinking funds. Let's go with, we'll start from the top. We might have to skip a category here and there, but gas is going to be $131, so $120.31, perfect. And gas is creeping up a little bit, so definitely glad that we had that budgeted. I'm going to take the $6 that are remaining. I'm going to sweep it for challenges next month. Groceries is only $40, so I think we're going to have to skip that because I don't know if I'm going to have enough change. So let's do milk delivery next. This is going to be $24. So we'll do 25 and get back 1. Eating out is going to be $44. So let's do the 50 and we'll get back 6. All right, now with that 50, I should have enough change for groceries. So groceries, I spent $40. So I feel pretty good. I did pretty well with groceries this month. So that means I will need $60 back. And then we'll sweep all of that. Household is going to be $166. So 100, 20, 40, 60, and we'll do 80 and we'll get $14 back. So 10 and 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. And this is for some yard and landscaping and some laundry stuff. So sometimes laundry goes in with groceries, sometimes depends on what I'm buying. That day I was doing like laundry, topsoil, I think weed killer, things like that, and detergent. So I just kept it all in household. Next up is going to be car maintenance, not insurance. And this was $66. And that was for wipers and air filters. So 100, so I need $34 back. So 20, 30. And you know what? Let's put another dollar in and I'll take the 5, right? So instead of 34, 35. Okay. Vehicle maintenance. What's next? Gifts. So gifts is going to be $144. So 100 and let's see if I have 40 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. $44. So gifts, what did we spend this on? So we had a couple of classmate birthday parties. We did some birthday dinners for my husband, and we did, I think I preemptively got some Dollar Tree wrapping and birthday cards. So Dollar Tree I love for any kind of gift wrapping, tissue paper, birthday cards, things like that. I am notorious for not liking to send cards. I do for Christmas, but like for birthdays and stuff, I don't want to say they're a waste because a lot of them are really cute and sometimes they're very meaningful, but especially for kids, I feel like I don't want to spend, and cards are so expensive. Like if you look at Target, I swear to goodness, cards are at least $4 or $5 at the cheapest if you're not doing like, if there isn't kind of like a 99-cent card deal. So I always go to the dollar store, stock up on birthday cards, and that's just what I do. All right. That is it for this binder. Next one is going to be kids. And kids is going to be $50 even. And that is for my son's hot lunch. So sweep that, keep the gift card in here. I still have not gone to buy shorts for the kids yet. I've bought what I would say athletic / play shorts, but I haven't bought kind of like the nicer, like let's go out to eat, let's run errands, let's go visit friends. Like don't get these, like don't drag your butt in the dirt shorts. So that's what that gift card is for. All right, so this is going to be what we're sweeping, and let me just kind of organize this really quickly so that we can kind of do a quick count of everything we're sweeping, because I think that's pretty fun. Okay, so we've got 50, 70, 90, 110, 30, 20, 30, 40, 50, 55, 60, 65, 6, 7, 8, 9, 70, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that correct? Let me double count that. 50, 70, 90, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, 55, 60, 65, 6, 7, 8, 9, 70, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. So $174 is going to get swept and put into challenges for next month. And then hopefully I'll have extra money from other things that I can add to those challenges. All right. And so that'll go to the side. Next, let's take out the, do I have 35? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. I need to find some change for 5s. Did I have it in here? I did. So I don't mind making change. I don't like to touch the ones in my sweeping because those go directly into the $1 challenge, but these smaller bills I will put in here just so I can make some change to go back into the $1 challenge. Okay. So 35, we did 2 10s, a 5, and 10 ones, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. 15, 25, 35. Okay. So then this should leave us with $850. So let's see, 100, 2, 3, 4, 5, 550, 70, 90, 610, 20, 610, 30, 50, 65. That is wildly off. Oh my goodness. It's wildly off because I didn't do the last 2 binders. This is crazy. All right. See, my head is totally out of it right now. All right, let's do husband's binder. Hopefully this will make up for it. Grooming is going to be $43. So let's see, 40, 1, 2, 3. This is for his Dollar Shave Club, so I think he needs some more lotions, or I think he does like this shave gel or shave cream. It doesn't foam up, it's just kind of goes on like a gel, and he prefers that now. Business 1 is going to be $10. Business 2 is going to be $129. So 50, 70, 90, 100, 10, 130. And I think I'll just take $1 back. I did have the 9 in exact change, but I think it's easier right now if I just do the 1 back. So 50, 70, 90, 110, 130. Okay. And this was for some various subscriptions for his second business. All right, that is it for his binder. And then finally is my binder, $4. $4 because one day I was dropping my son off to school and I passed this, I think it's called Big Apple Bagels. And I just was craving a bagel with, you know, cream cheese, like a flavored cream cheese. And so anyways, they didn't have the one I wanted, which was I think jalapeno cheddar bagel, but they did have like another Asiago cheddar. And then I just did the jalapeno cream cheese for that. So $4. Sometimes you just need to let yourself enjoy those little things, right? Like a little bagel. Oh, by the way, everybody talks about New York bagels. Have you guys ever had Montreal bagels? Montreal bagels are amazing. They're not nearly as fluffy. They're much thinner, I would say, and more maybe chewy, but I love them. I actually prefer the Montreal bagels, and there are none around me in the Chicago area that I know of. So if you know of any good Montreal style bagels in the Chicago area, please let me know. The only other one that I haven't looked too hard, but like is on Goldbelly, and Goldbelly prices are so far marked up. I can't really bring myself to spend money on Goldbelly, but maybe that means I just need to go back to Montreal, which is the city that I love. So anyways, if you haven't had them and you have the opportunity, you should try them. Like I said, they're more like the outer side of a bagel rather than all that like stuffing inside. So if you like that stuffing inside that's soft and kind of doughy, then probably not for you. But if you kind of prefer the outside, I know a lot of people like will rip out the inside of the bagel to like just cut down on their carbs. Try out a Montreal style bagel. All right. Weird tangent on bagels, but now let's see. Okay, 850, actually 851. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 500, 50, 600, 20, 40, 60, 80, 700, 20, 40, 60, 80, 800, 20, 40, 45, 50, 51. Perfect. So 851 is going back to the bank. All right, so now next up, we are going to flip back to our month end. And let's do the cashback. So total cashback this month is going to be $61. I have $29 from Upside, $22 from my credit card rewards, and $10 from Apple Card rewards. So 20, 40, 61. Not a whole lot, but every little bit counts. So here we go. We will count this at the end of the year. I remember last year I didn't even do a full year, and it was really, really fun to count that at the end of the year. Okay, now let's move on to our monthly recap. So this is going to be for the month of April. So I'm going to pause for a second, and I'm going to update all of the starting investments and what I stuffed, and then we'll review it when I come back. So hold on. Okay, we're back. So I went ahead and filled in each week and zoomed in for my stuffing, my spending, and the gain loss, as well as the starting for my investments. So with stuffing, this is a really exciting but kind of odd week because my employer matched or contributed to my 401k, which is a combined 401k as well as a pension plan. So essentially they just put all that money instead of two separate plans, they just put it all in our 401k account. So this was great because this week had a huge amount that they added. And then really the second, third, and fourth weeks kind of were in keeping with what I normally stuff. I mean, give or take a couple hundred. Usually weeks 2 and 4, because that is my automatic transfers for my 401k. They're usually about, as well as my HSA, they're usually 1,300 more than whatever the cash would be. So as you can see, it's roughly about that. Spending wise, obviously in the second week I had a really high spending. I think that was when I got new tires for my car. But overall, kind of typical spending, maybe a little bit on the high side. And then the gain losses, the thing that's always still nice is that I'm still always saving and stuffing more than I'm spending. So of course that does include some artificial inflation or artificial valuation because of the automatic transfers. Of course, I'm not spending 401k, so that's always going to kind of pad what I'm stuffing. But psychologically, as I always say, your financial journey, most of the battle is psychological. So it still makes me feel good that these numbers are in the gain column, even if it's kind of an artificial number with the 401ks, not even counting this, employer dump. So overall, 29,000 was stuffed, which again includes around, what was it? I think almost 21,000 for my employer stuffing. So, 8,000. Spent 4,650, gain loss of 24 grand, 555. Again, if I take out all of the employer matching, because, you know, the 401ks that I contribute is still my money that's not going directly to my pocket, whereas the employer match, it wouldn't go in my pocket regardless. So I do feel comfortable taking that out, about 21,000. So overall, I would still have saved over $3,000, right? If I take that 21,000 out, I would still have saved $3,000 more than I spent. So that makes me feel really good. Okay, so then moving to investments, all I did was take last month's ending balance, and that basically becomes my starting balance for April. So what I'm going to do first is I am going to go ahead and update my contribution, my ending on 430, and the gain loss totals, and I will be right back. Okay, so as you can see, I had a very large contribution. I normally contribute just over $2,000 per month to my 401k. And then, like I said, it was just under $21,000 that my employer added. I ended the month at $253,354, but I had an actual loss of the investment itself, because how I calculate the gain loss is I want to know how the market's doing. So the gain loss for all of these is calculated by what I ended with minus what I started with and minus the contribution. So as you can see for all of these, this one's probably the easiest one to see, is that what I ended with in April was more than what I started with. So that was a gain of $112. But on this one, the 529 plans, I ended a little bit less, right? A little bit less than what I started with, but I'm also subtracting the contribution, right? Because I don't want to make it look like a gain when it was just money out of my pocket added to it. So it was still a loss of $227, even though if you just look strictly at the end and start numbers, it's, you know, what, just under $100, but you have to add in that $150 as well. So that means overall, I started the month at $272,506. I contributed just over $24,000 across all of the investment accounts. I ended just under $290,000 with a total loss when I take out the contributions as well of $7,000 even, which is kind of crazy. I double checked that number. So that's pretty exciting, really. I mean, even though it doesn't feel great that I lost money on my investments overall, I'm still trying to look at the big picture. And that's, again, where the psychology comes in. Like, you have to have nerves of steel. You have to look down the runway towards the end goal. Year over year, if you're retiring within 3-5 years or so, yes, this might be a little bit more concerning. But if you're not retiring for a long time, don't worry about these, dips and what would you call it? Hills, I guess, crests, because that's just the nature of the market. Right now, there's a lot of volatility with geopolitical. We've got elections coming up. Elections, let me tell you, in my line of work, which is somewhat regulatory, the impact of presidential elections and even congressional elections is huge. If you have an administration that comes in and they are for regulation, there's a lot more litigation that happens. Our corporations are spending a lot more money on legal to make sure that they are following laws. So a lot of times that actually in professional services increases employment, increases wages, is good for that sector of the economy. When a government comes in that deregulates, then a lot of times those litigations go down. Corporations are not getting sued, class action lawsuits are not being filed, things like that happen. So a lot of times that's in my industry. Again, this is just one section of a very large economy. We have layoffs. So it's kind of interesting. I've always found it really, really interesting because in my sector, we deal with a lot of people who are very high income, high earners. And they typically, kind of skew one way on the political spectrum because they are very focused on financial impact, taxes, all of that kind of stuff. They generally personally like less regulation from the government, but from a professional standpoint, they don't have as much business if there's less regulation. So I always find that really, really interesting to see how their personal kind of views on regulation kind of clashes with their professional views on regulation, right? So it's like personally, they make a lot, they don't want to pay taxes generally on their personal income or investments, but professionally, they don't bring in as much business if there is less regulation. So, you know, again, I'm only speaking from my very small microcosm. This is not a political commentary of what's better, what's worse. I'm just saying that it's kind of a balance, right? Like administration does obviously impact many levels of the economy. So right now, because we are going to potentially be transitioning, right? It's an election year. All I'm saying is that the markets are not really sure how to predict. So they're kind of going all over the place. Obviously, geopolitical has an impact on it. So it's just very interesting. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I don't have a preference one way or the other that I'm sharing. I'm just saying that it is, take it with a grain of salt, keep calm, carry on, right? The markets are going to be in flux for the next year, at least. So, okay. So one thing I am going to do this time that I haven't been doing is I am going to go through and grab some placeholders and let's see, let's get a couple hundreds and just, well, I guess I'll grab them all. Rebalance my envelopes. You don't need Christmas stamps, thank you very much. And don't think I have anything bigger than that right here, do I? Yes, I do. Okay, so here's a couple, there's a 5 and a 10. I don't think I'll really need those, but if I do, there they are. Okay, so let's see. First off, we'll do the 401k. So we ended with 253,000. So we'll roughly do 253. So 100, 200, 10, 20, 30, 40. 50, so we can change in for that. 50,000. And then 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Let's see, 102, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to do the extra 350 just because the markets go up and down. All right, next up is the HSA, and that is roughly 21,000. So I probably will just put in 21,000, even though it's slightly above. So 10, 20, put all those 300s back, and we'll just do a straight 100 or 1,000. 529 is 5,755. So this one actually is, what did I have in here? 555, 5,800. I'll just leave it at that. So I think I went and rebalanced it last month, and then obviously had added. And let's see, taxable investment is 9,689. So this one was from a couple months ago, it looks like. So we got to actually go down, which is a little sad, but it's okay. So 5,006, 7, 8, 9, and we'll do 500, 600. So we'll do 9,000, we'll do 700. So 9,700, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,000, 5, 6, 700. Okay. All right, so that is it with recalculating. Let's see, did I write out accomplishments? Yes. So accomplishments for this month was I got some car maintenance done that was really needed. That was good. My skincare routine, I know I talk about this once in a while on here. I've shared some favorite things from skincare lines, but I just started kind of really trying to reestablish a skincare routine. So I've been really excited with some of the early results from that. And the third accomplishment that I am also very proud is being present. So I've tried really hard this past month to work on, especially with my kids, when I have time with my kids, I'm putting my phone down. I'm not worrying about work. I'm not worrying about the next activity. I'm trying to really focus on what it is they're saying. My kids do, I'd say 2 things. 1, they talk a lot about a lot of random stuff. And 2, they dawdle. We call it dawdling. And I'm sure this is very normal kid behavior. But for me, it causes me personally a lot of anxiety because it's like when I want to get out of the house, like let's go put our shoes on, it drives me crazy that it takes us, 30 seconds instead of 5 seconds to walk down the stairs. But my kids, they're taking their time. They're kind of just maybe telling me something. They're, putting their hands on the little railings one by one. And I'm trying to just release my own anxiety or my own urgency so that I can focus on, if it takes 30 seconds to get down the stairs, but it's at their pace, that is something that I want to give them, right? I don't want them to feel rushed like I feel rushed. Certain situations, definitely, maybe we are really late to something and we really can't be late. But I found for most of the things that I feel rushed or try to rush my kids about, it's not actually, it's a fake deadline. It's not something that we actually have to rush about. So I'm trying to just be much more present with when they're telling me a story, being fully engaged, even if it's ridiculous, which 90% of the time it is a ridiculous story. If they're putting their socks on and taking a long time, or if they're trying to figure out how to pull their clothes inside out or right side out, before I just like kind of take the shirt and do it for them. But now I'm trying to just let go and let them do it until they ask me for help. And I honestly think that 1, it's making me a little bit happier in my just general interactions with them. And 2, I think they are starting to notice it. And I feel like my oldest is really susceptible to similar anxiety. And I don't think my anxiety is helping him at all. So I'm hoping that if I can just kind of take a step back and relax a little bit about it, it will help him also do that. So I'm really proud that that is something I've consciously worked on this month. And I do feel like I am seeing some progress. Goals for May. Summer planning. I am also, I mentioned I have anxiety with being late to things, taking, twice as long as needed. And part of that is also planning. I like to plan things out. I like to have everything in my calendar. So summer planning is something I'm going to do for my own personal anxiety to decrease that and just kind of know what our schedules are. Meal planning, very similar vein. I go through months where I'm really good at meal planning and months where I'm really not. And I find that I just feel a lot better if I actually can meal plan what I want to make for meals. My husband also makes meals, and so does my mom. And so, when it's their night, I don't get involved. I just let them handle it. But on the nights that I do, I like to meal plan. And then the last one is I'm going to try to decrease our grocery spending. We have a lot of groceries in our pantry. We also have a couple of freezers and fridges that we stock up on things. I think I've mentioned it in the past that I stock up on meat when it's on really good sale. And so right now we're doing really well with that. And part of me always kind of has this anxiety about like, well, what if there aren't any sales for a while and we run out of meat? And I have to step back and tell myself I'm fortunate enough that we won't run out of meat. And if we did, I would just go and buy meat at regular price. Like we do a lot of this budgeting so that we can spend the money that we have to if we're ever in a pinch. And so right now what I want to do is kind of go through what we have and make sure that we're using and not wasting. That's another thing. You put it in the freezer, you forget about it, it gets freezer burn, and then you just throw it away because it's going to taste kind of bad. And so I want to make sure we don't waste food that way. So that's something that I'm going to try to do for this month is be really creative with using things that we already have, taking stock of, what's kind of starting to hit that deadline of we need to eat it or pitch it, and make sure that, that what we're saving, either in the pantry, dry goods, freezer, is being, again, I'm being really mindful with how we're managing our groceries. So anyways, thank you, everybody. If you're still here, let me know where you feel anxiety in your life, whether it's with your finances, with your family. your job, just let me know, because I think a lot of times it's really helpful for all of us to just kind of share that you're not alone and feeling certain feelings or having a hard time or trying to get, you know, to a different place, different mindset. So just let me know if you are having any troubles right now or feeling like something's a little overwhelming. And I'd love to hear, just not so that we can commiserate, but just so that, you know, I feel like it connects us a little bit better. And as always, I send everybody good thoughts, best wishes, prayers, that whatever season you're going through right now, that you will get through it, and that sometimes sharing it with people that you don't necessarily have a personal connection to in real life is still beneficial to kind of air that out. So see you guys in the next video.